What's up, homies and hoes? I'm back again. Another month, another video. Or in this case, another couple videos. So, I've been getting to work on Minecraft. Me and Killer. Mostly me though, as usual. So, this is gonna be a good episode, I think. We got some good builds to show off. And it's just been good. It just looks really good here now. Plans starting to come together. New ideas are floating around, and it's just good. Everything's good. All right, so to start off, I don't even remember where I left off last time in the last video, but I mean, I have an idea. I know most of this wasn't here. So I'll start with the first building, I suppose, that we built, which is this one right here. Quite imposing from the ground. And inside has not been worked on much. So in here is the barn. You know, I mean, I guess, you know, quote unquote barn is just where we're gonna hold the animals, set up some auto farms with them, like some auto wool farms. Still working out the redstone for it, making sure that it fits up here, and just kind of figuring out the layout that's going to be in here. So yeah, that's what so the inside of this is still under works. Don't know if this is even, I'm gonna have the bottom floor laid out like this. It's probably gonna look like this, but I don't know. We'll see. So second off, I'll do a quick little free cam of the area because it's changed quite a bit since the last video. So a lot of netherrack has been put in, a lot of crimson nylium. As you can see over here, we've drained this section of the water, and then we need to bomb it out, dig it out a little bit as well. And yeah, so all this water is going to be drained out over there, as well as over here. Eventually all of this water is going to have to be drained out. And the new grand plan for this area is that it's going to be all nether. So there's going to be, hold on. Alright, so in here, we're at the map in the storage room. So the plan is that all the water that you can see here on the map is going to be drained, and probably further out as well. This section down here of land is going to be residential housing. So this path is going to continue into here, and then we're going to have a bunch of houses in here. This middle section is like the industrial section. And then this top section is going to be commercial. And then in between here, in between this line of netherrack and this line of netherrack is going to be connected over here. And then this island, or this whole mountain range over on this side, which is, you know, this huge mountain range over there, is going to be bombed out completely all the way to the ground, as well as all of the area that we drain. That's all going to be bombed out. Everything, for the most part, but this main landmass right here is going to just go all the way down to -64. The bottom layer is going to be some like black concrete powder or black concrete to make it look like it just ends down there. And the rest of this is just going to be a big nether island. But like not floating, it'll be connected like way down at the ground. And then around the outside, we're going to have like some end islands floating out there. And over here, we plan on adding a soul sand mountain that has just a bunch of nether wart growing on it with some lava waterfalls going down. A lot's in the works right now. A lot to work on. And right now, I've just kind of been working on some of the farms. You know, as the last video was the trading hall farms. This video, we got a couple more farms done. Some really good buildings done. And, you know, here and there, I've been draining some of the water. We really didn't pick a good spot to settle down and start this idea, but we just been kind of going with the flow, you know, planning things out as ideas come. So over here I drained out all the water and stuff. But particularly why this is a bad area for doing all this is because there's just so much water. I mean, we were in the middle of 3 rivers coming together in here. And so underground here, there's just a ton of water everywhere. Well, it's kind of hard to get a view. Oh, there we go. This whole ravine right here is water. We had to drain out a lot of water for these farms, or this over here as well. So it's been challenging having to deal with all the water. Well, I guess not so much challenging as it is just annoying. Alright, so the next thing we'll look at is this building on the map over here, which is this building right here. This one I built by myself. And if you don't know, you can check out the time-lapse videos that I made. I'll have a link to them in the description, both the commentated and uncommented versions. So this building right here, whoops, went a little too far over, but as you can see, it, you know, that section over there is higher. This section over here is lower. Here's a look from a little bit further away. As you can see, I added some tall glass windows on the sides over here. Since I knew this is where, like, I was designing a building for this spot over here, and since, you know, it kind of, you know, goes diagonal a bit over here, I wanted to put in the windows like this, where they're staggered a bit. As they went back, they like stepped back. And so on the top, I also wanted to do something a little different. So these are kind of like antennas, I guess. And then this is your like air conditioning, you know, your HVAC on the roof. And then some chimneys, because I wanted it to look a little industrial. Alright, the inside hasn't been finished. But as you can see here, we've got an auto sorter, we've got a bunch of chests. So 5 of these, 5 columns of these chests are for sugarcane, and then these last 2 are for cactus. So this is all the cactus we've gotten so far, and sugarcane is filled up, you know, a little bit. And also, I'm pretty sure I mentioned how much iron we had in, you know, one of the last videos, I'm sure. And so I decided that, you know, there's nothing else to do with the iron, so I would just use it as the building blocks on the insides of these buildings. So, you know, these iron blocks could be any block. They could just be dirt, they could be stone or whatever. But I chose to make them iron just to use up the iron. So if I go X-ray, you can see just how much of this is iron. I'll go free cam too, so you can get an idea. A lot of it is iron. So yeah, this side of the farm with the cactus caused me some problems. So I didn't get a time lapse of me building this section because I was working out how to make this collection system as good as possible. Since it's, you know, really oddly shaped up here, since it like stair steps down, so it's like thin over there, but it's really wide over here. I was trying to figure out how best to design this water path here, and this is what I came up with. So it works exactly how I need it to. The thing is, I wanted all of it to collect into one hopper, so there's just this one hopper that's open, and then the rest of the hoppers are being covered with furnaces to reduce lag. The sugarcane section, on the other hand, went much more smoothly. Down here, however, I didn't put the minecart unloaders in because the redstone involved with them interfered with the item sorter and the disposal. So I just didn't put them in, which it's not a big deal. I mean, it's just the minecart going back and forth. They don't pick up that many items where they can't unload it that fast. With all of these sugarcane sections, each section, so right here, this is 15 going back, and it's too wide, so that's 30 sugarcane. So that means the top layer is 120, the bottom layer is 120. So that's 240 sugarcane, all growing in here. And you'd think it'd be faster. I mean, we have collected 3 full chests and some of the 4th. But this has been running for, I don't know, maybe like 15, 16 hours or so. So it's not making it, you know, extremely fast, but it's making it faster than we could use it. We really just need the sugarcane for paper, for rockets. And this would definitely keep us going. The inside in here, I have planned to make it look like office spaces. So like in here's a meeting room, in here's a meeting room, and then everywhere else I don't know what I'm going to do. So that's why this isn't decorated on the inside. But I did test out, you know, some interior designs for this place. So next on the list, and well, I guess the last building on the list, is this right here, which is our auto, you know, villager, breeder, converter, curer, and job giver. It has a lot of functions. So the inside of this was built before any of the outside was built, because me and Killer spent tens of hours working on the design of this place, all of it centering around the fact that we wanted to automate the breeder even more. So we wanted them to get stored and then automatically converted, and then we wanted all of those zombie villagers to line up next to each other. But it's difficult to figure out a design that they all line up next to each other like this, and I wanted it all to look good. So there were some other designs that we had in mind that just didn't look visually appealing. They just looked not good. They looked cluttered was the word. There's just a lot going on, and it would have just made the inside like really difficult to design. But with this, we finally got a design going that we wanted. We knew that we wanted to have two you know, sections up here where there's, you know, a farmer and a regular villager to make babies. And with that, we kind of ended up going with 2s everywhere. So there's 2 sections of farmers. Then down here there's well, if I can get a good angle of it, there's 2 of these holding cells for the villagers right here. And then down here there's 2 sections where they get converted. And then over here there's, you know, 6 to accommodate the pairs going on. And then same thing over here. Over here we can control a couple things. So this button we can press to start the whole process. It'll collect some villagers, convert them, and then bring them over here. These buttons, levers. This one either turns on or off the breeder. This one either kills or keeps the villager, which is for this section over here. So for this lever, the turning it on and off, it just goes back here, sends a signal up to here, and just pushes a block in front to block the villager's view of the beds. And it's off right now because, as you can see, one side has a lot in it, and then this side doesn't have a lot in it. And I don't know why this side is producing so many more babies than that other side. For some reason, these two are just getting it on way more. And I also had some problems with the collection for this side. So in here you'll notice it's too wide because for some reason when the villagers were growing up, they were getting pushed into the walls and just dying or either falling out of the whole system. So I had to make it too wide so that they would actually get collected. So this lever is controlling whether to keep or kill the villagers. So after you've cured the villagers and you brought them over here, maybe you get a trade that you don't like with them, like with this guy. He just doesn't have what I need. He doesn't have the right trades here. So if we want to kill him, we just push this lever down, and what this does is it, back here, if I can get a good shot of it, right here, it'll activate this, which the observer will detect. It'll push the redstone block down on top of that redstone, and it'll switch the track over to here, so that when they fall down, instead of going out this way, they just get sent this way into lava. So if I don't want to keep this guy, which I don't, we just do this. He gets sent and he gets killed. We'll keep that off screen. And he also needs to go, so I'm sorry, but you don't have what I need. These levers over here need to be on when you send the zombie villagers over. So these levers control this first row of trapdoors. So if let me do one a little more noticeable, like that one at the end there. It gets retracted, and it gets pushed forward. And that's just so that when all of the zombie villagers drop here, the last one that gets dropped right here will get pushed forward by these minecarts that are here. And because all of the minecarts essentially, at this point, like once all of them are here, I'm explaining this so bad. So when all these minecarts are next to each other, like this, and this last guy drops in, all these minecarts along the side are connected in a way so that when this guy at the end gets pushed down that way, all of the others also get pushed forward because he is like connected to the one on his left, and then the one on his left is connected to both, the right and left. So it kind of just pulls all of them forward down onto this track. And so having this trapdoor here allows the minecart to stop at the, at this point before they hit the rail, the powered rail. And so when they're all right there, you can throw a weakness potion, right about here, and then convert them all. And this over here, I had to add because for some reason, me and Killer designed this. We tested it multiple times, but for some reason, in our build, we didn't have this part over here. There was no piston here with an extra trapdoor. But I had to add this here because when I remade this exactly. Okay, this is exactly how we built it. But for some reason, the first zombie in the minecart falls here, and then the one next to him falls here, and then they both get pushed down for some reason. I have no idea why. So that messes up the whole system because these... God, I'm doing so bad with the camera. So these detector rails are sending a signal back here, which goes all the way up to here, and these crimson wart blocks get pushed out. And that allows for, you know, like, since it's empty right there, the first one will come, he'll hit this wall, he'll drop down onto that detector rail, and it'll push this set out. So that the next zombie villager that comes in will hit this wall, and he'll drop down into the second one. And then the second one will push this wall out, you know, and then so on down the line. So that they all line up perfectly. But yeah, for some reason, just this design would pull these guys forward. That would mess up the whole system. So I had to come up with another way to make this work. So the way I made it work is this trapdoor is blocking this zombie from getting pushed forward for whatever reason. I don't know why he's getting pushed forward when the second one comes in, but he is. So to keep him in place until the last zombie villager comes in, this is pushed out to here. When the zombie villager steps on that last pressure plate, that activates some redstone back here, which activates the observer, which pulls this trapdoor in and allows for him as well as the rest of them to all drop down onto this second set of rails at the same time. And then after that last zombie gets off of that detector rail, it activates the redstone again, which pushes the trapdoor back out. So it's all automatic. And then of course when you've cured them all, you can activate any of these levers in whichever order you want to transfer the villagers over to here. So they start filling up from left to right. And once you send out the first one, he'll come in, he'll drop down into here, he'll activate this string, which will send a signal back there to turn the rail, and then the next guy that comes, he'll like come down the track, hit the wall, and then just come into this section here. So it's all automatic in here. And then over here, this is for mine carts. So back here, this whole hopper chain that's going along is all connected back to that chest over there, and it's just to send mine carts up to these dispensers to fill them up, keep them full. And then in here is we have a clock underneath, so that the first guy that drops down, he'll drop right here. He gets hit a couple times by the zombie. The zombie will convert him in 2 hits because he's got a sharpness 5 sword. And then after, you know, however much time, like, this first one will get sent after like 2 seconds or so, and then he'll get sent on his way. And then we have to delay this one even longer so that it has time to land on the detector rail, push out the blocks up there, and then he gets sent. And then it all goes. If you want to see this whole thing in action, I'm uploading a separate video just on the whole functionality of this place. So, this place in action. One note is that sometimes this first villager that'll fall here won't get converted. it seems like in testing, it was only like a 95% chance that he would get converted. But it seems like now it's only like a 40% chance that that first one actually gets converted. But it doesn't really matter because while they're still up on that top detector rail section, they can still hit each other, so that the villager that lands on this section is guaranteed to become a zombie villager, so he'll just drop next to the regular villager and convert him. Over back here, we just got a rear entrance, and we've got this space over here, which I'm probably going to turn into a brewing room, so we can make those weakness potions over here. And the lighting in here, so one thing to note about the lighting is that all the lighting is kind of hidden. Well, I say that, I mean most of the lighting is actually, you can see it, but the lighting on the ground is actually being done by these cauldrons that are filled with lava. So all these cauldrons have lava in them, which are lighting up the ground level in here. Up here, this section is just some storage, so there's nothing really in here but some golden apples and weakness potions, and then some workstations. The next few things to show are a little less interesting, but they really bring the whole area together around here. And they were the last things I worked on. I got them done way faster than these buildings. And that was just putting these paths in to each new building, and then building the fungus trees, and then adding some little details here and there, like this little section here where there's a opening in the world, and then some spots like this where there's some extra, this is a better example, where there's just a little mound of extra netherrack and crimson nylium. And then 2 of these sections with logs cut down. And without these sections here, it really just made these 3 new buildings just kind of look awkward around here. Since there's no connectivity between the buildings, it just looked weird. They looked out of place, but after I put in the path, it really started to come together, and especially after putting the trees and little details in, it's really starting to take shape around here. I guess I also forgot to note that I changed the design of the crimson section of this whole area. So over here with the warped, the warp blocks are just kind of integrated in randomly. So like there's like a patch there, there's like a patch there. They're just kind of spread out around randomly. And that works really well with this section because it blends in better. There's more ground cover as well with the stems and the vines. But with the crimson section, it just really didn't look good. It just looked very off. So I changed it to a more connected kind of web design, and I think it looks a lot better like this. A smaller build that I had to make was down here, but over here I just have a small little bee farm. I come over, collect the honey, or get some wax for every now and then. I'll have a better bee farm later, but this is just a little temporary thing. But in here, I had to make a cobblestone generator because I was just using so much cobblestone for all the observers, all the pistons, the furnaces. So I just needed to have some other really fast way to get cobblestone, so I had to put this in here. And that pretty much does it for this episode. talked about everything that was built, the plans for the future. Seems like, you know, with all this stuff, I spent so many hours designing and building, collecting resources for all this stuff, and it just doesn't seem like much has been done in the world, but it takes time. I'm one man. Killer only helped me with building this building, getting some resources, and he's the one that drained this section here. And I think other than that, I did everything else. I put in all the netherrack and whatever the crimson wart stuff is. I put in all that. I did the trees. Built both of these buildings. Oh, and I guess Killer helped. Well, Killer did help build this. This building would not have been possible without Killer, because I was ready to give up on the whole idea of making this place fully automatic like it is. So without him, this building would not be like this. But the outside was designed by me. With that being said, I'll see you in another month's time. Can't promise there's going to be this much done in the world next time, but I wasn't sure that... I mean, I definitely didn't think this much was going to be done this time, so who knows what'll happen in the next month. But either way, I'll see you next time.